Hi and welcome. It's awesome to have every one of you here. Uh, I saw a couple of faces before. Maybe, yeah, we met before, some of you. This is a little seminar about Internet of Brain. We'll go through, uh, let's say, a short introduction, and then we'll go a little bit more technical. So there are two parts. The first one is more about the contest, and the second one is a live demo. Hope you enjoy, and let's start. Ah, before we start, if you fancy, like to tell me, like your reason to be here, kind of technical interest, privacy, how many for strictly technical neuroscience, computational neuroscience one? Yes. You can go in for more options than just one, more like privacy aware. Okay. How many others? Like you can speak loud and other, yeah, future new technology, evolution. Yes, 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 hybrid thinking and all that. Yes, yes, how we build things. Interesting. Okay, so this is me, and I'm passionate about. Welcome. Beer is there. Yes. And yes, so my name is Matteo. I'm passionate about brain-computer interface, neural interface since some years. I I did a little analysis on newspaper since 2013, and I tried to track down the philology of the concept of Internet of Brain since the BCI thing started last couple of century ago till today, and looking also what is coming forward. I wrote this on an article, but I've written this some years ago, so there are more information actually available than the one that are in this article. Anyway, I wrote also a little website for let's say to for the people to be aware about the technology from a privacy point of view. And then I co-founded with other friends something called Mind Lab. Is let's say the constraints part, the building part of a scenario that we would like to let's say own ourselves as a democratic process. And you can find me at this contact. I had this is not my first conference, my first seminar. Actually, I'm trying to follow a kind of thread and to evolve that thread. I started in Barcelona in 2016 with a seminar called "From Neuroweapon to Social Neuro Gadgets." DARPA promotes the market because I saw on the verge of a big change in the approach that the society had towards BCI. And then so BCI went a little bit from medical and military uses to mass consumer area, and this is what is about to come. And I had another conference that was about the consumer choice on mind-controlled technologies. That was exactly which BCI, which technology were available since then. And today we will talk a bit about Internet of Brain. Internet of Brain is not a new concept, but is evolving. And we might say that 1 month ago there was out survey, a research made by Ericsson Consumer Lab, saying that consumers expect to find a Google destination just by thinking of it by 2030. That means a lot of money for the industry to invest in consumer gadgets, neuro gadgets, and software, of course. Yes. The thing is about the Internet of Rain, how should we send? How should we send and receive our neuro data, neuro signal over internet? How can we discriminate between public and private talks? And if this is possible, and which architecture should be in place, which architecture, I mean technological architecture, we would like to have in place for such a thing. And so this is an occasion to forecast what we can co-design and co-create together. Actually, this is a big challenge. Is it a crazy idea? Is it mad science? Well, actually, it was already a military application, and as I said before, it became let's say a deployment to the commercial side of the story, as being triggered a few years ago by let's say huge initiatives about brain computer interface, like Barack Obama brain initiative 2013 and such, 2014. So yeah, let's start from here. When you look at 1G being for the voice for your ears, and 3G through 5G are data for your eyes, for a vision service, perhaps 6G will go beyond the head of mounted displays and introduce a direct neural interface. That was said by Matt Gropp in 2013. That is the Qualcomm CTO. Qualcomm is a big industry that takes care of infrastructure and software, but at the infrastructure level of internet for commercial purposes. It was not mad. It just had a couple of meetings with DARPA inside of the BRAIN initiative. And so, together with Microsoft and Google, DARPA had the question, like, can we manage all this data? Do we have the infrastructure? And the representative of the big corporation said, yes, actually we do. And so they start rushing for delivering an infrastructure for Internet of Rain. Let's take a step back. Everything started with this guy, more or less. This is not true, but let's say that this guy was really important and had a big impact on the thing. Leak leader, JCR leak leader. I had to read the name, I'm never able to pronounce it. In the 60s, at the beginning of the 60s, while he was at the head of behavioral science and control program at DARPA, command and control program. He's a behavioral scientist, but also is an engineer. He did something for the World War II before working for DARPA, kind of wall control through radar system. So he managed to have a system in which all the data coming from different radar technologies could make some sense on a screen for an operator. Kind of holistic view or all view about radar technologies during the Second World War. Here the definition of it's important, I think it is interesting. The definition today of war has a lot to do with information, because it involves a lot of technology, but also because it involves information as a mean for war. And it's important that we look back and to some time recognize the seeds of things. During the latest 60s and the beginning of the 70s, this guy was able to had his dream coming true. Um, he was an advocate for internet. He saw internet as a global network of communication, a galactic, sorry, not global, galactic. We're talking about space and beyond. And he thought it was really important. Let's not forget the background of this guy. They are, yes, really good for evolution of things, especially for technology. But the mindset is the mindset of people that are always at war, and so and also with a little bit with the society. I mean, command and control, behavioral science is a lot about manipulation. Anyway, let's drop this here at the moment. What he had in as an idea, as the concept, was about internet as a tool. Actually, the primary concept is human-computer symbiosis. He wrote a book about it. Human-computer symbiosis. So it's not about, in his mind, in this concept, it was not about like artificial intelligence taking over the world. It was more about a collaboration, or let's say a complementarian help between human and computer. Human-computer symbiosis. It's a relationship of mutual help, I would say. And yes, before we jump into this, so he was like really taking care of the project for looking forward the project to start about internet. That is one side of the project, and then human-computer interfaces. That is the other side of the project. So we have like a network of computer. Everything is interconnected, but then we need an interface. The interface is a brain-computer interface or neural interface. So he finally promoted the concept and the idea towards DARPA, being a director of a couple of programs in it. And finally, the internet program started. We're talking about 1961. The first grant funds for a couple of universities, Stanford and California, University of California, Irvine, California.